Terrorists have one goal in mind. It's to slaughter as many civilians as possible.
We turn now to Israel's war on Hamas. Attacks ramping up in Israel and Gaza today after an unprecedented attack by Hamas over the weekend on the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. Israeli officials say at least 600 people there have been killed, including at least 9 Americans. And in Gaza, authorities say more than 500 are dead, thousands more injured, and dozens of Israelis taken hostage. ABC's Inez Delicatera is there.
Israeli attacks on Gaza are ramping up. This refugee camp devastated after Israeli rockets targeted the area. And Palestinians in the community seen overcome with emotion after a mosque in Gaza was destroyed by an Israeli strike. Israel's defense forces saying they've struck over 500 Hamas and Islamic Jihad terrorist targets in the Gaza Strip. Israel declaring war on Hamas after the militant group carried out an unprecedented assault by land, sea, and air.
These terrorists have one goal in mind. It's to slaughter as many civilians as possible.
More than 2,200 rockets launched on southern and central cities in Israel on Saturday. Air raid sirens also blaring. At an Israeli music festival in Negev, rescue workers say 260 bodies were removed from the desert after a Hamas attack. Hundreds killed in both Israel and Gaza, and thousands more injured. The U.S. State Department saying at least 9 Americans have been killed in Israel, including 32-year-old Hayim Katzman.
We thought at one point that he had been taken hostage, but it turned out I didn't get official information about exactly what happened. His body was found in his apartment. We understand that he and his neighbor were hiding in a closet, and they found them, and the neighbor was released, a woman, and he was shot immediately.
The Israeli government saying dozens who weren't killed were taken back to Gaza as hostages. Yoni Asher's wife and children, whom he says are seen here in this video, were kidnapped.
I recognized them immediately, and I saw the video twice. In the second time, I couldn't watch anymore because I melted down. I couldn't believe this is happening to me. It was a nightmare.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warns this could be a long and difficult war. And Israel's defense minister now saying the IDF is laying siege to Gaza, cutting off all food, fuel, and electricity supplies to the region. Inez Delicatera, ABC News, Tel Aviv, Israel.
And that attack on Israel has thrust the United States into a Middle East crisis that risks expanding into a broader conflict throughout the region. President Joe Biden promising unflinching support for Israel and has deployed a U.S. aircraft carrier group to the eastern Mediterranean and rushing arms to the Israeli military to deter other actors from attacking. His administration is also working on brokering relations between Israel and Saudi Arabia. Such a deal has the potential to reshape this region and boost Israel's standing in the Arab and Muslim world in historic ways.
Let me say this as clearly as I can. This is not a moment for any party hostile to Israel to exploit these attacks to seek advantage.
Now, this was a massive failure of Israeli intelligence, but several Republicans in Congress and those seeking to become the party's nominee for president have blamed Biden and the Iran deal that he brokered to free American prisoners in exchange for freeing up to $6 billion Iran can now use for humanitarian aid. The turmoil in the House of Representatives, which has been without a speaker for nearly a week, also believed to be hamstringing America's ability to provide aid in Israel. Until a speaker is elected, no legislation can be passed.